And so just like Dr. Marlene Hurd shared with you guys, I am Business Director Erica Ba, and tonight we're going to talk about the Internal Revenue Code 7702. And I know you guys are like, why is that important? What does that have to do with finance? Well, how many of you all have actually heard of the IRS? And I know all of us have had some type of interaction with the IRS when it comes to taxes. We want to pay our fair share, but not overpay. And then a lot of people have anxiety when it comes to the IRS. But if we understand the laws that we live in, then we know how to move accordingly and then make sure that we are interpreting those laws and using those laws for our benefit. So the Internal Revenue Code 7702, it provides rules defining what qualifies as a life insurance contract. And that's very important that we have clear understanding and we have definitions. So, because when we understand something, we're able to apply it to our life and benefit from it. So this is how a life insurance contract is defined for U.S. federal tax purposes. So that's that very important word, tax. Remember that you always want to make sure that you are putting you and your family in a position where you're not overpaying your taxes, but you are meeting those tax needs. And we've all heard those horror stories of the most famous characters, actress and actors, and just people that we thought, oh my goodness, they're winning in life. They have all this money, and then come to find out they trusted the management of that money to one accountant, and that accountant made some decisions that was not aligned with the law, and then they were faced with such a heavy tax burden, or due to not being able to come up with the funds, maybe their assets were liquidated and now they are living a restructured life. So I'm glad you guys are here tonight so we can talk about this and the advantages this IRC code affords you and your family when it comes to life insurance contracts. So the definition of a life insurance contract for deals with two settings. It has to do with the cash value accumulation test and the guideline premium test as well. So for a policy to be treated as a life insurance contract under the tax code, it must meet one of these two tests. And we're going to talk about these tests tonight and how you can benefit from them. So the cash value accumulation test limits the cash value within the policy to ensure that it is consistent with the life insurance and not primarily an investment. So this is the perks of having a cash value life insurance policy and contract that allows you to grow cash, not only just any type of cash, but allows you to grow cash with tax-free accumulation. And so this is a tool that you can use, that you can add to your portfolio, to add to your estate, to plan for your family's future. And also you can use as a way to plan for your retirement future, where you have income revenue that is tax free. And the second one is the guideline premium test. So this limits the premiums paid into the policy and requires a minimum ratio of death benefit to the cash value. So in order for the IRS to consider that this is a life insurance contract, there must be a portion of death benefit to serve the purpose. So the purpose of the rules is the primary goal is to prevent individuals from using life insurance as a tax sheltered savings or investment vehicle rather than a legitimate risk protection. And when we look at risk protection, well, what you may be wondering, well, what kind, how am I at risk? How is my family at risk? Well, you may be at risk of facing a health situation that pulls on the family's finances, or be at risk of the primary breadwinner dying too soon. And so that's missed income that the family relies on to make sure that they follow through on their long-term commitments, especially if you're a family that have young children, maybe you're planning for college, for their future, and then the risk of you running out of money in your retirement years. I know it doesn't seem like it now as you're working through your working and your building years that, oh, you will ever get to the stage in life where you will retire. But as health advances or improvement, are improving, Americans, we're living longer. And so a lot of people are finding out that they're spending more of their lifetime in a retirement state than whether they're working, accumulating in the building. And so having a cash value life insurance contract that allows you to grow money tax free and then access that money tax free, and that money to stay liquid. And when I say liquid, where it's accessible for you to take care of the needs that may arise with you and your family, is very important. And we want to make sure that we are abiding by the rules of this vehicle, where we are not putting ourselves in jeopardy and creating a tax situation that none of us wants to face. And so if the policy fails to meet these requirements, it loses its tax advantages. And so the tax advantages, like having tax deferred growth. Any cash value buildup inside the life insurance policy is not taxed as it grows. And that may sound familiar with other financial saving program like the 401k or the 403b or even the 457, or even just an IRA that allows that tax deferred growth. But this is kind of, it's similar in a way, but it's kind of different, because not only do you have that tax free growth, but it doesn't have the same rules as far as constraints as when you're able to access the money, and then how you access the money also determines whether or not you create a taxable situation for you and your family. Unlike the 401k and the 403b and those other vehicles that we have discussed in previous videos, or that you're able to see on our Facebook page, or you can make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel to understand those programs and how they work. And if you access the money in those savings programs before 59 and a half, you'll face a 10% penalty. This allowing your cash to grow in a life insurance contract, and that is protected under the IRC 7702 code, has its benefits, where you can access those funds tax free and you can grow them tax free, and they also grow tax deferred. And then you have a tax free death benefit, and that's very important for your estate, where the beneficiary of your choice in your absence will receive that death benefit tax free. They don't have to wait for a judge in a probate court to determine and decide based on your will, this is how you would like your assets to be transferred. They will actually have what they need, because the protected life insurance contract dictates and says so, that they will receive a tax-free death benefit. And this is the holiday time, and trust me, I love those two words together, tax free. But there are limits and there's rules to everything in life. Rules help us stay within the constraints and be able to maximize any situation that we're in. So IRC code 7702 ensures that a policyholder cannot overfund a life insurance contract by paying excessively high premiums, which could turn the policy into an investment rather than an insurance. So this is something that you do not want to venture out on your own and respond to different ads that you may see on the television or that may pop up in your emails or any of your social media contracts that say, hey, you can get a life insurance contract, $500,000 for $13 a day or $10 a day. This is something that you want to sit down with a financial planner if you have a financial advisor or a retirement specialist. We're here at OIC 10K to answer those questions for you. That's why we create these formats to give you the information where you all can make decisions that's best for you and your family, and you have some knowledge where you can apply that to your life situation. So you definitely want some guidance. You want to make sure that you are looking into the right life insurance contract that will allow you to max fund it and enjoy the benefits of the tax-free growth. And why does it matter? It matters because we need to know the difference between a genuine life insurance policy and the products designed and from investment purposes. And this maintains the integrity of the tax benefits associated with the life insurance while limiting tax abuse, because taxes do help fund the needs of our society. We definitely need roads to get around. We definitely need military. We need police. We need all of those things in protection. So we want to make sure that we have a society that's functioning and balanced. But for people that seek information like yourselves, you're able to apply this information and definitely benefit from it. So let's dive a little deeper. And I want you guys to see this example of someone who is benefiting from the IRC 7702 code, and who makes sure that they're following guidelines of the cash value accumulation test. So the cash value accumulation test ensures that the cash value of the life insurance policy does not exceed the amount necessary to fund the policy's death benefit. So that means that if cash value grows too quickly, the policy will fail this test, and the IRS will look at this as a tax investment. And we know that investments, we do pay taxes on the growth of that money, and it will trigger a tax situation. So, for example, a 40-year-old individual who buys a whole life insurance policy with a $500,000 death benefit, under this test, the cash value of the policy must remain below a certain threshold, which is calculated based on the actual assumptions like the mortality or the interest rates or even the premium payments of how they fund this life insurance policy. And if the cash value grows faster than expected due to overfunding or maybe higher investment returns and it exceeds the threshold, the policy could fail the cash value accumulation test. And this failure will result in the IRS may treat this excess cash value as taxable income. So it will create a taxable situation. And here's an example of a policy not meeting the premium, the guideline premium. This is an example of a 45-year-old who buys a universal life insurance policy. As you notice with the example of the cash value test, we talked about a whole life. Now, this example includes a universal life insurance. That's why I encourage you to reach out to a financial professional or a retirement specialist if you would like to use a life insurance contract to grow and plan for your retirement future. You definitely want to make sure that you partner with an expert. But here, with this insurance policy, in this example, with $1 million death benefit that's based on the IRS calculations of the guideline premium limit, is limited to $30,000. This is the maximum amount of premiums that the policyholder can pay over time while maintaining the policy's tax advantage status. So each year, this individual is able to save $30,000. That's higher than some of the constraints in income contribution limits set on a 401k and Roth IRAs, or even Roth 401k. So this is another vehicle if you are in an industry where you have bonuses, or maybe you are an investor and you are looking for a place to place your profits, and you want those profits to still grow and grow tax-free, you might want to consider a contract like this. But if the policy holder violates and they decide, well, you know what, this year was good, I'm going to put 50,000 in premiums up front in this policy, they exceed the guideline premium limit. And so therefore it will fail and create a taxable situation, and any cash value growth could be taxed as ordinary income tax. And there's a difference between ordinary income tax and then gains tax. Ordinary income tax, you might be in a higher tax bracket. So we definitely want to make sure that we understand. So policies that fail this code is called a modified endowment contract, a MEC, and the tax treatment changes. So as as your money is growing in this life insurance contract, it's accessible to you to access as a withdrawal or a loan, and you don't pay taxes on the loan. So you might want to make sure that you're communicating with your financial specialist or your retirement specialist as concerns arise. How do I access some of the money that is growing in my life insurance contract without creating a taxable situation for myself? But if you overfund and you fail to meet those two guidelines, then you will have to deal with the changes of the tax treatment. That's, for example, loans or withdrawals from the policy cash value will now be taxable as ordinary income tax, and they no longer have that tax deferred benefit. And then you will also face penalties that may apply for early withdrawals before age 59 and a half. So just summarizing the situations that can create a taxable outcome for those that do not understand how to benefit from IRC code 7702 will be overfunding premiums, or the cash value grows too fast and then the cash value is treated as a taxable income, or even the death benefit drops too low versus the cash, and then the policy fails to qualify as a life insurance contract. But this code is also helpful, and these are the benefits and the rewards of understanding the IRC code 7702. It helps by ensuring that life insurance policies retain their tax advantage status while preventing abuse. And so that's that tax-free death benefit for your beneficiaries, what we talked about earlier, and then the tax deferred growth of the cash value. An example of that is Sarah owns a universal life insurance policy with cash value component. As she pays her premiums over time, the cash value grows from 20,000 to 100,000 due to the interest in the investments that are linked with that growth. So this is an account that you definitely want to partner with someone, with an agent or a retirement specialist, to guide you to make sure that you all are in line with meeting your financial goals. Well, under Code 7702, Sarah does not pay taxes on the 80,000 gain while it remains in the policy, and she continues to enjoy that tax deferred growth, and it's tax free. This code also protects against overfunding and abuse of investments, and has the opportunity for you to access your money through tax-free policy loans. And an example of that is Emily as a whole life policy. She has a whole life policy of 150,000 in cash value in her whole life policy. She needs 30,000 to fund her child's education. So instead of withdrawing the money and touching the principal of the money, she takes a loan against her policy. And under the code IRC 7702, this loan is not taxed. So she has what she needs, and she has the full amount that she does not have to pay taxes on. And her policy death benefit remains in place to protect those risks. So this is a very important code that if you understand it, you can definitely get it working for you. So the IRS could treat the loan as a taxable income and making policies loans less attractive without this code. So this is something that you definitely wanted to get working for you. Another benefit is safeguards in retirement and estate planning, how it helps the life insurance policy complying with IRC set code 7702. It's a powerful tool for retirement planning, wealth transfer, estate preservation, and due to the tax advantages. So this is an example. David uses his life insurance policy as part of his estate plan. And when David passes away, the policy is now over 2 million in death benefit that is paid to his heirs. This money can cover the estate taxes, provide liquidity, or secure his family's financial future. And so this is having this code work for us. And this is just a summary of how it helps with the tax-free death benefit, the tax-deferred growth for the cash value. It prevents investment abuse, and just having that tax-free policy loans and estate and retirement planning. So this is good news with how this is regulated, and that is clearly defined for us. That way we can trust that it's going to be consistent, and it's something that we can take a look at to save, grow, and protect our family against risk. I really enjoyed breaking down the Internal Revenue Code 7702 with you all. Thanks for allowing us to share this information with our community. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our public Facebook. That has been my time. Dr. Hurd, I'm going to pass it